Hi everybody, this is Hannah and I am going to show you a little bit of detail about getting into the EBLI online course for the first time. So if you are already registered or if you're thinking about registering, you can see the process for getting in. So after you register on the EBLI website, you're going to get a few emails from us at EBLI, and then after a couple of days, you're going to receive a Marygrove registration email. And this is what the email looks like. It's going to have these highlights in it, and it's going to have all this information that's blacked out here for the student's privacy, but it'll have your student ID at Marygrove College, your name, your student username, and your initial password. You're going to need to change your initial password. So it's got detailed directions in this email. It's telling you your email address, but it's going to tell you go to this website. So what I would recommend is that you just copy and paste it up here, and it's going to take you to the Marygrove email website, and it'll tell you in your email exactly what to do. So you're going to enter your username that they give you up here, student username, with no@marygrove.edu, and you're going to enter your initial password. So then once you do that for the first time, your username and your initial password, and you go sign in, it's going to prompt you to create your own password, so something you can remember. And the criteria for your password is right here. It tells you exactly what you need to do. And then once that's all complete, you'll be able to log on to the Blackboard website. So after you do all of that, and you've got your password set up, you're going to go to this website right here. It's blackboard.marygrove.edu. And what we suggest is that you bookmark this site. If you go up here on your internet, and I use a Mac, but if you use a PC, it might look a little bit different. You can just say bookmarks, and I believe it's bookmark this page, and then it'll show up at the top of your internet, so you can just click it and the site will come up. But once you go to blackboard.marygrove.edu, then you'll be able to log in with your same username and password. And once you're in, I just want to show you a little bit about the course itself and how to get around. So the first thing you're going to do is go to courses, and I have a bunch of them, but unless you've taken courses at Marygrove, you're just going to have one, and it'll say courses where you are a student. So you're going to click on your course, and then it's going to pop up in here. And the default is the announcements page. So as you can see here, it says announcements. You'll see one to several announcements below this line. So that's kind of the most up-to-date information that your facilitator is sharing with you. So be sure and read those and check those out. And some of the time, the information in your announcements, it will get emailed to you, but it won't be anywhere else in the course other than here. So it's really important that you check those out. And if you're ever anywhere else in the course, over here on the left is your navigating bar. So you click announcements and it brings you to this page. So that's how you get to that. Also, kind of the most important piece of your online training is your learning modules. So if you click into learning modules, you'll see that the course it's officially 7 weeks long, although the timing is all very fluid. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So all 7 of your modules or weeks are in here under learning modules, and this has all of your information you're going to learn and all of your assignments. So what we really, really recommend is that you print out your checklist for each module. So this is what the Module 1 checklist looks like. It's got a key at the top that tells you if the activity is in this color, this is the type of activity it's going to be. It tells you over here to the right what the timing is on all of these activities, so you can kind of get an idea of, first of all, it's a few pages. You can get an idea of what your week, what's going to be expected of you for the week, and you can get an idea on your checklist of what all the steps are that you're going to need to do. And of course, you're going to do everything in order starting at the beginning. So the checklist is a really good place to start and keep track of, print off, check off as you go, so you can keep track of where you're at when you go back in. And the checklist also matches up exactly, when I click into Module 1, it matches up exactly with what's in here. So the top portion of the module is the overview, so it tells you a little bit about what you'll learn in the module, and just a few notes and the materials you'll need and all that good stuff. So right here it's going to tell you what you need to teach this week and learn. And then the Module 1 discussion. This goes along with those first 2 discussion things in your checklist. Then you have your activity set 1, so it's going to tell you each of your activities as you go. So be sure that that checklist is going to be a really helpful tool for you to use. Just a note too on timing, once you're logged into Blackboard, you can actually, a week before the official start of your training date, you can log in and get started. It is very flexible with doing your assignments. You can turn them in as you go. and you can start your work early, which we highly recommend. Module 1 and Module 3 are the most time consuming. Module 1, just because you're getting used to the system and there's a lot of kind of background video stuff, and it's a little bit different than the rest of the modules just because we are setting up a lot of information. And then Module 3 is more time consuming because you actually have a video assignment where you'll record yourself teaching. So be sure that you keep that in mind and get started early, get in there a week early, and really go for it, because that's going to be very helpful to you to have that extra time. Modules 4 through 7 typically move very quickly for people because they're more familiar with Blackboard. There's actually less in them, and you know, you're just going to fly by at a bit of a faster pace. So keep that in mind when you're going through those modules. You can definitely work ahead if you'd like, and to track your progress, you can go over here on the left under grades, and it's going to show you for each module. It's going to have individual a grade for every single assignment. Now, it's not showing me in mine because I'm actually marked as a facilitator, but for you, you're going to see Module 1, Activity 1, Assignment, and then your grade over here, you'll have a number if you've done it and no number if you haven't. So that's where you'll go to check that. And keep in mind, too, I'm going to hop back over to the modules for a second, and I'm going to go into Module 2 so you can see a different one. And I want to talk a little bit about the videos. Now, a lot of the video lists here, they're going to take you to different playlists on YouTube. So when you click on video playlist here, okay. So if your video has this note right here that says choose one of the following videos to watch, what that means is you'll watch this introductory video that pops up, and then you'll click. If you teach one-on-one, you'll click to this one-on-one sound lines instructor training. If you teach small group, you'll click to small group sound lines. If you teach whole class, you'll click to whole class sound lines instructor training. Now, you're more than welcome to watch the other ones if you'd like to. So if you're a whole class teacher that also does small group instruction from time to time, you're welcome to watch both. But it is the same activity that can be adjusted and modified for, you know, small groups. So you only need to choose one of these videos to watch. So after this one's done, if I'm a whole class teacher, I'm going to click here to whole class, and that's all that I have to do. I don't have to watch every single video in this playlist. And we wanted to mention that because some people were having the online training last a really long time only because they thought they needed to watch all the videos, which is understandable. They automatically pop through in your playlist. So, and you know, just don't do that same thing. Be sure you just choose one, and that's going to save you a lot of time. So keep that in mind as you're going through the training. And really also keep in mind you want to teach the activities in the setting you normally teach. So even though it can be tempting to teach one-on-one the first time that you're teaching, we really ask that if you're a whole class teacher, if you typically teach small group, that be the setting that you learn and teach in, because that's going to be the most useful to you. You want to be in your whole class, small group, or one-on-one based on what you are normally teaching. So be sure and choose the correct setting. If you are a whole class teacher, but you're taking the training in the summer, you can of course choose one-on-one if you're working with a one-on-one student. So that would be kind of the exception to that. But otherwise, if you have access to a whole class of students, or you have access to a small group of students, be sure you're choosing those materials in those videos. Let's see. Just a note also that as you're going through your modules, the activities are going to build on themselves. So each module builds on the previous module. So you've got to go in order. You can't just hop around and pick and choose, because we built it in order for a reason. So start with 1, go all the way to 7, go in order. Modules 4 through 7 are going to have, or actually modules 5 through 7 are going to have a lot of what was in modules 1 through 4, but you'll be applying them in reading, writing, and vocabulary instruction. So it's going to teach more a lot about that, you know, real world application, real classroom application. So that's what those later on modules are going to look like. And once you've learned an activity in one of your modules, you can feel free to keep teaching it. So if you've learned multisyllable spelling, or if you've learned sound lines and you want to keep doing that, you're welcome to continue teaching the same activity, just use different words. Use your content area words. As you go throughout the training and you want to revisit something from previous modules, feel free to, but just continue on doing all of the new stuff in order and stay on task and on time with all of that. So that's definitely an option to you. So after you complete the course, oh, you know what? I was going to show you one other thing, actually, before we get into the ebook. So also, your discussion board is right here. So keep in mind for your discussion board that you're going to have for each module, you'll have to do your own post and original post. So if you click into the module and discussion and click into the thread, it's going to have your directions right here for what you're going to need to do. Your response 1, that's going to be you answering some questions. And then once other people start posting, you're also required to respond to others at least one time. So for each module, you'll have 2 different posts that are required. And of course, if you feel that you want to respond on other people's posts past just the one, feel free to do that as well. We encourage that. We love that. That's what the discussion board's all about. But those 2 are what's required. Whenever you see due dates, here's kind of an important note. Whenever you see due dates in here in red in your online training, this goes over it in the syllabus as well, but these are suggested due dates. As I mentioned before, it's all very flexible with when you turn things in, but we have suggestions in here of when to get things done in order to stay on track. And so when we talk about due Sunday of week 1, that's the end of week 1 is when that's going to be due. So due Sunday of week 3 would be the end of week 3. So kind of keep that in mind. Those are due dates, those tentative suggested due dates really. They're also on your checklist so that you can kind of keep that in mind as you go through. And finally, before we get to the ebook, if you ever have questions you need to get to the syllabus again, that's up here in course information, so you can check that out, as well as some more information about Marygrove's online policies, which is important to read. And if you're wondering about who's facilitating your course and how to get a hold of them, their email and phone number, that's going to be under faculty. So be sure and click there if you have any questions or if you need to get in touch with somebody, go ahead and do that. And when the course is complete, you are going to get emailed an ebook. And this ebook is almost 700 pages long. When it first pops up, what it's going to ask you to do actually every time you open it is it's going to have you choose yes here under this legal notice. So you're agreeing to use the ebook only for the purpose of directly teaching students. You won't copy, share, alter, or reproduce it for any other purpose. So you are allowed to teach any students to read. You're not allowed to share with anybody else. So that's having you to agree to that every time you open it up. So when you get into your ebook, there's so much in here, and you're actually going to get videos, links to videos in that follow-up email at the end of training that explains about every single thing that's in here. You know, you can check out this table of contents. I just wanted to show you a few things while I have you here. First of all, the first section is all directions. So there's a general directions chapter 1, and then there's several other chapters depending on what setting you teach in, depending on where your students are, if they've had EBLI or haven't had EBLI. So be sure and use your table of contents, and actually directions for using those other chapters are right here in chapter 1 too. So it's going to tell you what page to go to and where to start. So that's all section 1. And then once you get into your specific chapter that's talking about your setting and your students, you're going to have planning templates that you can fill in. There's going to be directions on how to fill them in. There's going to be example templates, and there's also going to be blank ones for you to just print off and fill in yourself. It tells you exactly step by step how to plan your lessons, and there's a lot of really great information in here. So please, please make use of these, as they're very helpful, and you can fill in your lessons as you can see here, fill in your students, when you're going to teach them, whole class lessons, all that good stuff. Again, different planning templates depending. This is a whole class template for a whole class teacher that has their students all day long, so they also plan small group, but there's templates for every scenario under the sun that you can imagine. So find the one that works best for you and make use of that. So that's that first section. And also throughout your book, you've got your steps again that you're going to have throughout the online training. You also have these worksheets for students in a later on section, so keep that in mind. They're there for you to get any time and print out and make copies of. And also the last section is actually my favorite section. It's really powerful stuff. It's got all these words EBLIized for you. So you're learning about how to do these EBLI activities in your training, and you have words to use during the training, but when you're done, you can come in here to the last section of your ebook, and it's dozens and dozens of pages of words for your sorts that you'll learn. multi-syllable words that you'll learn how to teach, and then they're all broken up and EBLIized for you. Lists of different ability level, 1 through 6, so you'll teach one list, but choose either the simpler words or all the way the complex or something in between. Then you have your split word reading words, again 6 different lists, so this is a different activity. So just keep in mind that you've got all this really, really great stuff in here to use, so please use it. This is going to be your Bible when you're done with your online training. And only print the pages that you need. You don't have to print out all 689 pages of this thing unless you really, really want to. We wouldn't recommend it. It'd be a little bit overwhelming. And like I mentioned before, it's not even all applicable to everybody. So choose what you need. And yeah, save it in a safe spot so that you will always have it on your computer. You've probably seen me typing up here in the corner. I'll talk more about that in a later video, but if you type in the page number, it'll take you back there. So that's an easy way to navigate it online too. So that is your ebook that you'll be getting once you successfully turn in all your assignments on time. And another thing that you'll get after successfully completing the online training is lifetime access to our EBLI members area. So if you go to our website, which is ebli.com, you'll be able to log in here and use this resource for life, which is really exciting. So all the way to the right here, it says members area and then go for members. So that's how you'll be able to log in. And I was already logged in, but I'm just going to log out real quick to show you what that looks like, the logging in process. So if I'm logged out, I put in my username, I put in my password, both of which you're going to receive in an email at the end of training. And this is what you're going to see when you first log in. So you've got so much good stuff in here. A lot of the documents are the same documents that are in your ebook, although you have a lot in your ebook that's not on the members area. So there's some overlap, but you're going to have a ton more than what we have in here. Assessment, again, all in your ebook, but you can go on here if you just want those documents separated out. We have Common Core alignment if you're doing, planning your lessons and you want to align with the Common Core. Here's some information about our apps, more for beginning readers, that kind of thing, but check that out and learn more about them. We have older recorded webinars. We have all of our YouTube videos that you can share with anybody. We have our Facebook page that you can go to and our blog that you can check out, but obviously front and center right here we've got our videos. So if you click on the videos button, it's going to take you to a list of all the EBLI activities, and within each one, once you click, you'll see that if you teach whole class small group one-on-one, you can click in there, you can find an introductory video, a video of instruction, and these are all videos of Nora, the EBLI founder Nora, teaching students in classrooms. So really, really great practice to go watch and review these videos before you go to teach again yourself. And again, all the videos that you're going to see in the online training, they're in here, plus there's so much more in here too. So be sure and use this resource. It's really, really valuable for you, and you have access to it forever. We're constantly adding new good stuff, so keep that in mind. And also, you can join we have an EBLI members Facebook page. So once you are trained, you can actually request to join. Once you log in, it'll just say EBLI members. And let me see if I can get there for you. All right. So if you are a Facebook user, the really cool thing about this is the EBLI members page is only for people who've gone through training successfully. So it'll pop up and it'll be private and you can request to join. You'll click the little button, and then once we see that we know you and that you're somebody who's been trained, we'll say yep, and you're in, and you're going to be able to bounce ideas off of other teachers who've been teaching EBLI for years, or newly trained teachers, or how do I EBLIize or break up this word. So there's a lot of really great conversations in here that go on. So I encourage you to get on there too. And I think that's about it. So if you ever have any questions, you can go to ebli.com. Our website's a great resource. You can always call our reading center or email us at info@ebli.com. And I wish you so much luck on your online training. I know that you're going to enjoy it, and reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks so much.